let's talk about the connection between content creation producer and improvised storytelling. Yeah?
Yep.
Because that's a different kettle, that's completely different to the production pipeline for something like NPC Man, right? Totally different.
Most certainly different, yeah. Where do you want me to start is, I guess, my question.
Well,
there's many facets to that conversation.
Yeah, well, let's first of all, in case people in the audience don't know, let's talk about your role in your off-screen roles in Viva.
So, I mean, in Viva in general, but also in D&D, I am one of the owners of Viva La Dirt League. So, me, Alan, and Rowan, the highest up, putting the what we want Viva to do and what we want Viva to make. I'm a writer. I'm the producer. I'm the director, and I oversee everything from editing to costume design, props design, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Also in that, and being the one closest to the NPC Man franchise, I'm also the one that does most of the world building and lore creation for the Epic NPC Man universe. So that's always an interesting one where it's like, yes, Rob, when I'm an actor, when I'm an improver, when I'm a cast member, Rob is my boss. But outside of that, I'm his boss, and I'm also the one making the train tracks for the world as Rob is running the train on it, which is a very interesting experience for both him and I.
Yeah, because in a D&D game, you're suddenly not in control of that lore anymore.
Yeah.
And
that's fun as I create the sandbox and then Rob populates it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's often things that I know are coming. Have we? Oh no, that would be spoilers to talk about.
Yeah, no, don't do spoilers.
I need to find some example that's not spoilers. I'll just say generally, there's things often that I know are coming because I've laid the train tracks and I've told Rob what that part of the world is, who's in that part of the world, and then I've got an inkling of how Rob might tackle that in a gameplay sense, and he doesn't tackle it the way that I've expected him to. So it's very surprising and fun. That's cool.
Yeah, well, that's nice, right? Because that means that as for the audience watching you as a cast member that moment, you can still have genuine reactions, right? You can have genuine surprise to the moment, and you can genuinely interact with the things that you didn't see coming, which is cool, right?
Exactly. But then there's also this meta level where Barad-dûn knows everything about Azrim as well. Because I know so much about the world, it's just like we can just write it off. It's like, of course Barad-dûn knows that. He was there for that battle, or he spent some time in that part of the world when he was skiving off from his quest line or whatever.
Yeah, cool. So your background as a content creator, do you have have you done acting training? Like some of the others have?
Yeah, I have done a couple of acting courses, but generally I say no to that because I mean, like Rowan and Ben have both done full degrees in acting. Rowan went to Toi Whakaare, which is a three-year as did Rob, a 3-year acting course, and Ben studied at acting at Unitec. Whereas I studied writing and directing. I got a master's degree in directing. So I was more on the behind the scenes side of things in terms of my education. But I had done a lot of acting and prior to university and during university. So I wasn't, but I've not actually necessarily studied it per se.
And by default, when you're in any kind of filmmaking course, you have to do acting anyway because everyone's looking for actors to go in their student productions, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I got picked up for a lot of them just purely by virtue of being a slightly better than average actor than most people in the class. So yeah, I did a lot of it.
Yeah, and for those of you that live outside of New Zealand, Toi Whakaare is like the New Zealand's like super fancy premier acting institution.
And they only let so many people in per year, so if you get to go, you're very lucky.
You're very lucky. Yeah, and 2 of your 5 cast members are Toi Whakaare graduates, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and a few, oh God, it's escaping me now at the moment as well, but I think a few of the other minor cast members of Viva have been through Toy Whakaari as well. But I'm forgetting at this very point in time who they are. Anyway.
Yeah, that's all cool. So I've got another question for you, Sa.
Mm-hmm.
While we're in the kind of skirting around sharing information that's privileged or spoilers and that kind of stuff, are you able to share with people any behind the scenes stuff in terms of production pipeline for Viva La Dirt League D&D? Some people may be aware, obviously, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but you're not filming a 20 to 30 minute episode every week, right? So
no, yeah. So generally what we do, what we used to do was we would film a full 10-hour day of gameplay. After setup and pack down, it would be more like 8 hours of actual gameplay in one day. And then about a month later, we would do the green screen for that after we've managed to look into it and figure out what parts we want to do. And then the props and costume people that organize props and costumes would do the green screen about a month later. And then that 8 hours of gameplay cut down into like 25 to 30 minute episodes would get us, like kind of 12 to 16 episodes, which means we would only need to we'd only need to repeat that process every 3 or 4 months.
Right.
Which means we were only playing every 3 or 4 months, which is a long time between games. I mean, if anyone out there, you miss 1 week of your D&D campaign, home campaign, and you're coming back 2 weeks later going, what the hell did we do? I don't remember.
And your hair would all be different,
Exactly.
You have beards or you don't have beards.
But playing 8 hours of D&D is
punishing,
absolutely exhausting. And we also, the gap between playing was just too much. So we've changed it now. What we do is we play every 6 weeks, and we'll do half the morning is the game, and the afternoon is the green screen from the last 6 weeks. So we're always a step out from each other. And then, with a half day, we play about 3.5, 4 hours, and we get about 6, 7, 8 episodes out of it, depending on how long we play for. Yeah, and so in little sessions like that, and then they're being edited, and we're actually in both the boys' game and the girls' game. We're about 3 sessions ahead of ourselves at the moment, so we've filmed significantly more than what's on screen.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So if we ever go into more COVID lockdowns or something, you guys will have content for ages before we have to get back to filming.
Yeah. Just you can relax. You guys can all take a big holiday.
Yeah.
So then, let's talk green screen. Of course, in the show, it's interwoven seamlessly throughout. But obviously, I don't know if it's obvious, but so maybe it's not obvious. That gets scripted, right?
No, it doesn't get scripted. Not scripted. Generally, what we do, we us 3 guys used to do this. Well, I used to do this myself, but now we have a new director called Ben Williams who directs the game in the green for us. What he does is he'll go away and, I mean, he was there for the game as well, but he'll watch the game back and pick moments, and all he does is create a prompt for us. So, for example, if we'd been talking about how necromancy is bad, the prompt is improv a 90s Dare commercial about necromancy, or I mean that's a high level example. If we'd been looking at the Dragon of Schmagenrog and we were scared about it and someone made a poo joke, the improv thought starter is the 4 of you are standing there looking up at the Dragon of Schmagenrog. Adam pretends to poo himself. Everyone's grossed out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then that's as much scripting as we do. There's no more than that.
So Ben,
the true issue on green screen days is it's 6 weeks since we played the game, and so we'll have Ben Williams come up to us with his little prompt list and go, okay, so this one we need the 3 of you. Now remember that moment in the game where you guys joked about seeing the Dragon of Schmagenrog and pooing yourself, and we'll go, kinda vaguely. kinda. He goes, well, you made a joke about pooing yourself when you saw the dragon flying wrong. Okay, so this is a scenario. Good luck and action.
I love it that you guys are improvising, though.
Yeah. So I mean, he will have watched it back within that time. But also the reason for that length of time is then for the props and costumes people to be making the props that we need. If there's any extra costumes that Rob's going to be wearing for new characters or something, making those costumes.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's cool to know. And then, of course, you've got a small team of editors, which then take the green screen elements and the game elements, interweave it, put the graphics behind, do the sound, and all.
Yep, there's so much work that goes into it. It saddens me sometimes, and it's not just for the D&D channel, this is for the main channel as well, is that some of our audience don't realize how much of an operation it is. I mean, we are essentially a film production company these days.
Well, you are.
Every piece of content that goes up on the D&D channel, I would say anywhere between 20 and 25 people have touched that content in some fashion. On our main channel content, depending on what it is, anywhere between 25 and 70 people have touched that piece of content. Many hands these days to make
light work,
awesome content. Yeah, to make light work.
Make light work.
Make it seem like light work.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Yeah. I've actually got. I just want to show everyone. I pulled in a couple of screenshots from the very first one with Rob, showing you in that, and the one that you just released this week. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, God, I want to see these. This will be funny.
You ready? Okay. Here is a screen grab of you. Here we go.
Yeah.
Look how fresh
oh my God.
You are.
I look like a child.
So naive. So, and here's
That's also before I got my teeth fixed.
Here's the one, the embittered warrior from just this week. Look at you. Oh, hardened.
Oh, it's so much more attractive and handsome. Goodness gracious, look at them.
You're rugged. Anyway,
back in the day when Rowan used to sit next to me.
Yeah, that's right. And now look at Ben looking at you with such admiration.
I know.
He's
look
just
at him,
in
the
awe,
love in those eyes.
Isn't he? You're like,
love in those eyes.
The love. Exactly. Love
oh
that.
God, yeah. I almost want to see that Patreon one shot that we did. And compare between that and most recent episode. That'd be funny.